Number 151 in the Radiance range is Robert Bresson's Une femme douce. It's one of those films that you know right from the start it's going to be emotionally grueling and punishing. Start of this movie, we see the suicide of a young woman. As she gets brought in and laid in her bed, we have the husband who sits beside her and retraces their short, troubled marriage, searching for answers that he will never fully understand.
Je lui avais fait plaisir.
He's a pawnbroker. He meets this young lady who's looking to try and get some money so that she can study and move on. He almost coerces her into a marriage, and we watch this disconnect grow between these two people as they both have different outlooks in life and what they want, and you just kind of watch them pull apart but still have that attraction to pull together and how they want certain things, but their inability to talk to each other is ultimately what shatters their lives.
Cette façon de faire comme si de rien n'était m'a mise en rage. Je ne la questionnais plus. J'avais peur de continuer à ne pas recevoir de réponse.
It's incredibly cold and incredibly punishing as a film. You know, we see the film after the ending. You know, the girl dies at the start, and then we have the unreliable narrator as he tells us his point of view, as we see their relationship through his eyes. Dominique Sanda's performance is truly mesmeric in this. She doesn't speak a lot. She's demure. She haunts the screen as she moves around it. And even as we are hearing this story from her husband's point of view, she very rarely has a voice, which I think is one of the most damning things about this. You know, love here is presented as transactional. It's rigid, quietly suffocating.
Elle ne pouvait plus douter. L'arrivée de ce lit disait que j'avais vu, que je savais.
One of the most damning things is that this point of view comes from her husband. And even in her husband's point of view, she's no voice. She's nothing to say. She's just there. She looks pretty and she facilitates what he wants. And you see throughout the relationship that they have, it's all about power and control, particularly from the man's perspective. He has all the power. She tries to take control at several points, but he browbeats her, tears her down, and is very controlling, even though she's trying to rebel in certain situations. And all her reflection is interior. We never really see her point of view, but you have an understanding of why she's like that around about this man. The silence builds to repression, which means feelings are buried until they become fatal in this point of view. Even through watching this film, even though spending time with these characters and being able to feel for them, you never know the wife. You fundamentally do not know much more about her. This is a deliberate act from the director, from the storytelling point of view. We don't get to empathise with her. We can see from an outside perspective, we can see from the husband's perspective that she is isolated and that she is very minimalist in what she delivers. But is that because of his overbearing nature, or is it because of her reluctance to fight a losing fight? It is fantastic. It's one of those minimalist films. The sets are barren. There is this kind of precise set framing. We watch these characters as they move around, as the expression is limited and controlled. This is a tragic tale that feels inevitable, fueled by emotional negligence. Oh, it's a tough one. Beautiful, stunning, memorable, but tough. let's dive into the disc and have a look at the extras. Here we are in the disc for Une femme douce. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have an audio commentary by Michael Brook. Next up is Robert Bresson. In this archival interview, French dancer and choreographer Maurice Béjart talks with Robert Bresson about the masculinity of the soundscape in Une femme douce, originally broadcast on French television in November 1969. It runs for 7 minutes 29 seconds, and it's a bit of a weird conversation, just the way it's staged and photographed. The terminology and the language that they're using is just a little bit odd. Next, we have Dominique Sanda. In this archival interview, Dominique Sanda discusses her experience filming Une femme douce and its impact on her life and her career, originally broadcast on French television in April 1987. And this runs for 5 minutes 29 seconds. And I really like this because she has an obvious love for the film, and it feels this was one of the sort of most joyful and creative characters that she ever portrayed in the relationship with Bresson. Next, we have Over Her Dead Body. In this visual essay, Adrian Martin and Cristina Alvarez Lopez analyse the construction of Une femme douce, where images cast doubt on the facts relayed in voiceover. Created exclusively for Radiance in August 2025, and it runs for 17 minutes 26 seconds. As I said in my interview, it's a kind of unreliable narrator that we have telling the story here, but what they show in this visual essay is how some of the images contradict what he is saying and allude to the real story underneath. It's a really good visual essay. And then we have a gallery. Also included in this set is a 32-page booklet where we have an essay written by Alex Barrett and an interview with Bresson from 1973. And that's the extras from Une femme douce. Here we have it, Une femme douce. A really interesting film, one that I would thoroughly recommend checking out. It's emotionally distant, it is devastating in its restraint. Bresson strips away the sentiment to expose pure emotion here and the cruelty of misunderstanding and the abuse of control, and just lets it lay bare for us to witness. Not easygoing, not Sunday afternoon viewing, but one that is essential, I would say. I'd love to know your thoughts on Une femme douce. Let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com. Always, in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.